A U.S. think tank exposed a secret of the Xi Jinping family in a revelation ahead of the visit by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Charles Michel to China. Xi's nephew-in-law, Daniel Foa, a British national, is deeply involved in China's lucrative electric vehicle industry. He is directly participating in the industry's expansion and benefiting from the Chinese government's financial subsidies. Von der Leyen had previously expressed strong discontent over the substantial government subsidies Chinese electric vehicles receive, which allows them to be sold at low prices in the European market. As the European delegation plans to visit China in early December to attend the China-EU leaders meeting, they are set to tackle challenging issues, including electric vehicle subsidies. The global community has low expectations for significant outcomes from the summit. China's economy has seen a general downturn in recent years, except for a significant increase in new energy vehicle exports, particularly to Europe. In 2021, 11% of electric vehicles sold in the EU were made in China, which rose to 16% in 2022. China's export of new energy vehicles to the United Kingdom has reached a milestone, totaling 104,000 vehicles. This figure represents nearly a doubling in numbers compared to the year 2021. The Chinese government has invested over 200 billion yuan in electric vehicle subsidies up to 2022. The Center for European Policy Analysis, CEPA, based in Washington, D.C., reported that in a policy speech on November 16th, von der Leyen strongly criticized the Chinese government's substantial subsidies to the electric vehicle sector. This has led to an influx of cheap Chinese electric vehicles in the European market. Von der Leyen remarked, "This is a deliberate strategy of China's industrial policy, creating more industrial competitors and dumping excess capacity in protected sectors into the international market, potentially undermining Europe's industrial base." She criticized China's record trade surplus with the EU last year, which was nearly 400 billion euros, the largest global trade surplus in history. CEPA suggests that before meeting with Chinese Premier Li Qiang, a close ally of Xi in Beijing, von der Leyen and her delegation should address the issue of Xi's family profiting from electric car factories and Chinese policies with Xi Jinping. Daniel Foa, Xi Jinping's nephew-in-law and a key figure in Fisker Automotive's entry into the Chinese market, has been appointed as the director of Fisker's operations in China. This revelation underscores the Xi family's involvement in China's electric vehicle industry and the subsidy dispute with Europe. But this is unlikely to surprise von der Leyen, instead reinforcing their confidence and resolve in negotiations with China. She emphasized that China's disregard for international rules is contrary to the interests and values of the EU. CEPA noted that Xi himself had threatened to retaliate against the EU's anti-subsidy investigations into Chinese electric vehicles. Fisker Automotive, a small-scale automobile manufacturer based in California, is far less prominent in terms of sales and reputation compared to Tesla, founded by Elon Musk. The leadership of the Chinese authorities, wary of Musk's potential de-risking actions, prefers to collaborate with trusted individuals, providing Foa with an opportunity. Fisker's management team has already met with officials and business leaders in Shanghai this year to discuss automotive supply chain, logistics, warehousing, and production issues. Such plans usually require Chinese government approval and offer subsidies and tax incentives. Fisker expects to start production in China next year. Foa stated that the rapid transition to electric vehicles at both the government policy and consumer behavior levels has created significant business opportunities for Fisker in China. Currently, Fisker's product lineup includes only the Ocean model, which was first revealed at the 2021 Los Angeles Auto Show. The vehicle is priced approximately between $37,500 and $69,000 in the U.S. market. Handovers began in Europe in May, followed by the U.S. in June. In September this year, von der Leyen initiated an investigation into anti-subsidy measures against Chinese car manufacturers. The EU believes that the influx of cheap Chinese electric vehicles poses a threat to the European electric vehicle industry. This investigation into subsidies can reveal how Chinese car manufacturers, benefiting from government aid, can compete advantageously in international markets against unsubsidized products. This is considered unfair competition, prompting the investigation. Reuters cited consultancy firm Alex Partners, stating that from 2016 to 2022, Chinese authorities subsidized pure electric and hybrid vehicles of up to $57 billion. This is closely related to China becoming the world's largest electric vehicle producer, surpassing Japan as the largest car exporter. The EU officially announced the start of the investigation on October 4th, Von der Leyen stated that the EU would take assertive action if evidence is found. Chinese industry professionals believe that the EU might also initiate anti-dumping investigations, following the anti-subsidy probe. Anti-dumping investigations are more complex, requiring more extensive preparation. Chinese official announcements claimed that the long-standing subsidies for new energy vehicle purchases, which lasted 13 years, were terminated at the end of 2022. But many are skeptical about this. Financial commentator Shen Kunsai analyzed for Radio Free Asia that while explicit subsidies might be hidden from the EU, covert subsidies could be intensified. He explained that these covert subsidies are conducted outside the central fiscal system, possibly through local finances, and are often not direct subsidies to electric vehicle manufacturers. These include sales phase subsidies and component supply subsidies, which are difficult to trace. According to his understanding, covert subsidies now exceed explicit ones. Given its significant role in China's current trade, Tsai believes that the Chinese government is unlikely to curtail subsidies to the electric vehicle industry. He suggests that the impact of such investigations is limited for now, but the situation could change if the US or other developed countries jointly investigate or even restrict imports. Professor Hongbin Ding of the Selinger School of Business at Loyola University, Maryland, also commented on the technical difficulties in investigating government subsidies. He said it's challenging to uncover the exact financial support, such as how much money is given for selling a car or how much low-interest loan is provided for factory investments. These details are hard to find unless the original contracts are disclosed or publicly announced. But he speculated that since the EU has announced the investigation, they must have some evidence. Daniel Foa, the figure at the center of the Xi family's involvement in the electric vehicle industry, was born in 1977 to a middle-class family in the UK. After graduating from the University of Portsmouth with a degree in economics, he worked briefly in the UK before moving to Shanghai around 1999. He worked at IBM's Shanghai branch and later at Nortel Networks in Beijing. Foa moved to China in 2005, took part in several sustainability projects. Later, he married Xi Jinping's niece, Wu Yajun. Xi's sister, Qi An, and Wu Long's daughter, Wu Yajun, also known as Hu Eng or Wu Xiao, of Austrian nationality, were listed as speakers at an online forum in 2011. They were alongside British billionaire Richard Branson and actress Daryl Hannah, advocating for sustainable tourism in the Maldives. Vice President of Hudson Clean Energy Partners LP, Wu Yajun, developed its business in China through Xi's connections. British media described Foa as one of the foreigners closest to the power core in China's political and business networks. The Atlantic magazine noted Foa's transformation from going to dimly lit bars, patronized by foreigners in Beijing, to engaging in lively discussions with CEOs and world leaders in the Great Hall of the People near Tiananmen Square. Since Xi Jinping's rise to power, Foa has become exceedingly low-key, constantly surrounded by security and refusing all media interviews. Information about Xis family members is virtually unobtainable through China's search engine, Baidu. In 2009 and 2010, two reports from the Guangzhou Development Zone website confirmed Wu Long, Xi's brother-in-law, as chairman of Guangzhou New Postcom Equipment Company. But the company does not list its management team on its website, and related information is censored on Baidu. During Xi's 10 years in power, he has been labeled as the Emperor of Unfinished Projects. Known for initiating large projects and strategies that often fail, he is often leaving behind a trail of unfinished ventures. Xi's relatives, especially his two sisters, who emigrated to Australia and Canada, and their husbands, Jiagi Deng and Long Wu, have profited greatly from these projects. Beijing political observers note that Anan Qi, Xi's second sister, appears low-key but is well known. Her husband Long Wu has extensive connections in the military and business sectors. During the years of the COVID-19 pandemic, endless lockdowns and repeated nucleic acid testing in cities and villages across China to achieve Xi's dynamic zero goal have cost the nation enormously. The ultimate beneficiaries are the Xi family and the Chinese government interest group. Since taking office, Xi has championed anti-corruption, but as early as 2012, Bloomberg exposed the vast wealth of the Xi family. The report revealed that Xi's eldest sister Qiao Qiaoqi and her husband Jiagui Deng possessed assets worth $376 million, invested across varying industries like rare earths, real estate, and telecommunications. They owned at least 7 properties in Hong Kong, valued over $55.6 million. The report emphasized that the disclosed assets did not reflect the true net worth of the Xi family. The 2014 Panama Papers further exposed the Xi family's wealth, hidden overseas. Jia Guidong established 2 companies in the British Virgin Islands in 2009. Since then, as Xi's power has risen, there have been fewer disclosures about the family's wealth. In a move that has raised concerns about the ongoing corruption within the Xi family, it appears that their dishonest practices have not diminished, but instead become more covert and sophisticated. Through book publications, Xi Jinping has been earning substantial amounts. According to a report by Radio Free Asia, since his ascension to power in 2012, the total print volume of Xi Jinping's works has reached astronomical figures. The income from just the Chinese version of his 4-volume work, Xi Jinping Talks About Governance, is already in the billions. These works, mostly compilations of Xi Jinping's speeches, are distributed through a well-known but unspoken method. Chinese authority propaganda departments arrange the distribution, enforcing mandatory purchases and generous public spending, resulting in naturally high circulation figures, often in the millions. Apart from using state resources for editing and translating these works, the commission he receives are staggering due to the massive distribution. Senior Chinese media figure Yi Zhongcheng remarked that this is the most corrupt form of bribery. Beyond accumulating wealth, the more significant issue, he notes, is the societal and psychological damage it inflicts. Some have also lamented the environmental impact, questioning how many trees were cut down for these books devoid of any intellectual nourishment. These books and speeches are not personally written by Xi but ghostwritten, like his university thesis and doctoral dissertation. Xi Jinping's domestic and international travels have also come under scrutiny for their extravagant security measures, deemed a wasteful expenditure of public funds. His travels always involve extensive security arrangements, growing stricter each year. Each inspection trip effectively shuts down entire cities, reflecting Xi's numerous adversaries, including political rivals, fallen officials, and the general public. The expenditure of manpower, material, and financial resources for his security is seen as an extreme misuse of state finances, a corruption of corruption, funded by the hard-earned money of taxpayers. As for Xi's overseas financial exchanges, whether they involve channeling benefits to his inner circle or controlled enterprises remains undisclosed. But, given his typical approach, such practices are almost certain. The Chinese government is seen as the root cause of corruption, with Xi Jinping himself benefiting the most from this system.